May profits be upon you. I'm going to continue the weekly Forex forecast in this video because I didn't allot enough time to go over the Swiss, the Swiss futures and the Japanese yen futures. So I'm going to do that in this video. It should be pretty quick. All right. Now we're looking at the monthly because it's a new month. All right. We just completed a month. We completed the month of May, and I want to show you that you see how uh, April was very bullish. All right, and it tore through all of these bearish fair value gaps uh, in prior months. Just tore through it. Right. Take out the high. All right, we didn't close past that high, but price did breach that high and pulled back inside of this trading range. All right. But we did make a new high. That's what I want to point out. All right. Now, last month, we look how we closed inside bar and we established a, let's show you, we established a monthly fair value gap. All right. Now, price could use that monthly fair value gap to tap into this month and use it to make higher prices for sure. I am bullish in this market. All right. I would have loved if price would have closed past these highs here. I would have loved this to be a close, but the close was here. And then we had the inside bar. We'll see how this month opens up, right? If we go to the weekly, what we can see is that price did have this these sell to buy wicks here. All right. And we can see that there was a weekly fair value gap right here that price traded into and it held. Look at this. It held. It did not close past the low of that weekly fair value gap. All right. And oops, I didn't mean to do that. And what we can see is that those sell to buy wicks. Come on, man. What we can see is that those sell to buy wicks here, price did come back and tap into that as well. Yeah, I pointed that out in the last week's video, that there was a confluence of support here for higher prices. We got 2 weeks ago, we had this bullish candle push up. Last week, we had a bearish move and then a bullish response, right? A correction to that move that was also bullish. So I am leaning towards higher prices. All right. It's not too hard to see that reasoning being bad. You can see that it's decent reasoning. Now, we have these highs, right, that were established with this consolidation. Price broke lower into the weekly fair value gap here. And then you see how it grinded its way back up out of that, right? Leaving behind these descending lows, all right, which is a draw on liquidity into this order block here, all right, that was already traded into, all right. And then we had that tariff court order candle here, all right. Price pushed down, and then the appeals candle, the appeals court put a stay on that order of the previous court, and pushed price higher. So what we have here is, for me, it's a bullish indication, because you see how price came back into the draw on liquidity and hot-footed out of there. All right, we didn't get a close past that high, but we are heading towards that. And I'd like to see price fulfill that forecast for last week by taking out the buy side liquidity here and continuing higher. If we go to the 4 hour, will we see something bullish or bearish? Well, you saw the break of liquidity there. Let me break of liquidity. break of market structure here. It was bearish, right? We took out that low, and then we had this displacement to the upside here, where we have a bullish fair value gap form. We have another one, a big one, right behind that. So this becomes a breakaway gap, and this one also looks like, because the next candle closed higher, it looks like price has support for higher prices here, and price did come back into that area. We didn't sweep those lows. We did not sweep those lows, but you can see the displacements were followed up behind each other. All right. And I'm thinking that price is going to continue up higher to this high, this high, this high. This is the smooth edge compared to what's below. We do have these descending lows. I'm not sure if we're going to revisit them yet at this point. All right. I'm only going to think bearishly once we break this low. Really, that's where I'm at. And I'm looking for price to continue up higher here and move up higher. If we go to the Japanese yen, what I want to show you, let's go to the monthly. What are we looking like? Not too much different from the Swiss, right? Because what we see is actually is pretty different. What am I talking about? I was thinking about something else. We see the 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish candles, right? But those bullish candles did not break that high. It looks like lower low, lower high, lower low, and we could be making another lower high. And that is the possibility. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles going up, and then we have the inside bar. All right, inside it didn't take the high or the low of the previous months. All right, this is how May closed, and what does that indicate for June? I would tell you this: this high is where the bullish fair value gap, not fair value, but an area of bullish of fair value is located. Price came back to that area of fair value and respected it. As long as I see that respect intact, and we're not coming down towards these descending lows here, which is another bullish monthly fair value gap, price could come back down here and then continue up higher. But I'm thinking we're going to see some continuation from here. What would make me think that? Let's go down to the lower time frame. Let's go to the weekly. What you can see is these buy to sell. Sell to buy wicks here. Price comes back into it. We move away. Price comes back into it. Did not close past those lows. Did not close past it. Right? You see the descension into that. Price had a bullish response to it, a very nice bullish response. Then that was on the week 2 weeks ago, and then we had this weird candle. Why do I call it weird? Because we took out the high and we took out the low of the previous weekly candle. All right, and we closed back within the range. For me, I'm looking at this candle and I'm saying, is there something on the lower time frames that tells me that there is structure in place for higher prices? Well, let's take a look first. All right, and we go to the daily, and on the daily, what you can see is, doggone it, man, I hate it when I do that. All right, what you can see is price did come back down here on that Thursday tariff court order appeals and all that stuff, came down into these descending lows for sell side liquidity and pushed higher. I'm thinking that price is probably going to push to that high. I just this looks like bullish momentum, and I'm thinking that momentum will take us to the buy side liquidity up here for a sweep, and that would make for a very interesting week, in my opinion. The Japanese yen is going to have some news next week. Yeah, if I remember correctly. Yeah, right there. The Bank of Japan is going to have their speaker do some speaking about the interest rate and all, and that's going to have an impact, and that's going to happen on Tuesday. So I'd like to see what this market is looking like after Tuesday's news. If we're going to see a strengthening and come up towards this buy side liquidity or not. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at. I don't see, other than this bullish fair value gap down here, I don't see a reason for the market to continue down here. If we break this low, I will probably change my because that would be a breach. Dang, that was a terrible line, right? That would be a breach of that would be a market structure shift here to which would be bearish, going from bullish to bearish, and I would be looking for a price to pull back and then continue to these lows and possibly these lows. But until I see that, I'm bullish. Right, I'm going to continue to be bullish as long as this low stays intact, and I'll be looking for valid long positions to take the Japanese yen higher. I hope that helps. Uh, do make sure you leave a like in the or a comment, and make sure you subscribe so you can catch updates. I will see you in the next video, and thank you for watching. May profits be upon you.